Hi, everybody. I wanted to say that this video, the target audience is female over 18. So if you are under 18 or not a female, you might want to keep scrolling because this is not really pertaining to you. Um, I wanted to tell you that you're powerful, that you are valued, that um, your creativity is needed, your ideas, your dreams are valid, and that you can do whatever you want to do. Um, we are strong creatures. We, it makes me like I'm really getting emotional right now. Like we, we are, I believe, conditioned to compete with each other as women because we want male attention. This is not excluding myself, and so we are oftentimes angry towards each other without reason, right? Like we have feelings, and usually we direct those um, negative feelings to other women because we want the attention of a man or we want to be in the spotlight. And I, I want to stop for a second and stop that train of thought and say, my company Think Pink, I have Think Pink Insurance, and I also have a spinoff company that it's just not. It's just sort of on the back burner, but it is something I plan on doing something with Think Pink Weddings. Um, the name Think Pink, and I do realize I'm not the first person in the universe to create a company named Think Pink, but that popped into my head. I never saw another company named Think Pink. Think Pink did pop in my head after being on I'm in finance and insurance, being on a Zoom call and feeling a sting in my gut um, because I was a female, and there was just a comment made on a meeting that we were having that made me feel less than. And so I had already named my company. I actually named it One World because I am all about like world peace. Like I think that we could do so much more together, and that doesn't mean we all have to have the same ideas and same opinions. It just means learning to work together in harmony for the greater good, right? So anyways, I'm on this meeting. I feel sting inside of me that sort of felt like, I'm a woman, I'm less than. And all of a sudden, just the words "think pink" popped in my mind, and I was like, you know what? That I want to name my company something that leads being feminine, and that is where it sprung from. And so after I created the company and started going through, and people were like, "Oh, think pink with it." A lot of people think it's breast cancer, and I am a cancer survivor, but it's not breast cancer. It has nothing to do with breast cancer. And so after I created the company and we were, moving along, people were asking me. I didn't want to tell people. I told a few people, and then I stopped wanting to tell people it was because I felt a sting as a woman in business, and that's where the name came from. And so I have struggled with mental. I'm not gonna say like I'm off my rocker or anything like that, but in my life, especially my younger life, like I did suffer a lot with depression, with um, wanting to. I did self harm and things like that. So then I was like, you know what? I want people to think pink if they're feeling blue. If they're like, I didn't want it to be something that created being separate because that's not what I'm about. I just said I want world peace, world harmony, all this, but I have a company that's like forget men, it's all about women. No, that doesn't make sense, right? So then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna tell people that. I'm gonna just use Think Pink as the opportunity to first I'm telling you to think. That's an action. Think and then think pink, like be happy, right? Like don't be blue, think pink, like everything's gonna be fine. Like let's figure out your insurance, like don't worry. Like and so truly that is what I want people to think when they think pink. But truly the name did come from me as a woman feeling a sting. And so as we're progressing along and I'm building this business, I've been doing it for 5.5 years now. Um, I have really learned to love my fellow woman. I've been invited to some cool things with women, and through that process of loving other women, I've been loving myself more and giving myself more grace, more mercy, showing more compassion toward my own mother. Like I think a lot of girls go through the resentment with their mothers, and so that was me. I did that. Um, But at this point, and I'm nowhere near done, and I'm still learning every day, I I want to work with women. I want to help women. I want women to love themselves. And it's like it's okay for a company to be male dominated, and that's normal and natural. But then I've received this from people, but when it comes to being a woman owning a business or a woman in business in general, like that's different to some people. Not all people, and I am not someone that generalizes, because I realize there's always exceptions. There's always It's never 100%. So when it's coming to human beings, um, but I have received that from people that like it's just not as common or not as accepted in people's minds or hearts for women to be in business. And I'm like, you know what? Like, what if I just like keep doing this and I band all these women together, and how powerful could we be? But for the good. Again, this is not like, I don't wanna hurt anybody, I don't want anybody to feel left out, and I love the men that I have in my business. I have men in my business that are Think Pink. Their email addresses are their first names at pinkops.com. Like, that's their email address, like, and so it's like I love men. I have 2 sons. I want them to be the best men they can be in their lives, and if they choose to marry, if they choose to, take care of a woman or whatever that dynamic is in their life, like that, like, I don't know, I love men. This is, again, not excluding that, but it's just like we don't as a woman, I don't feel I have a ton of places to go with other women that are embracing a sisterhood, right? And it's like there's totally so many things with brotherhoods, but it's like I only see few. I want to shout out the Girl Cave. Natalie Kime invited me to the Girl Cave, and it was just all these women, a lot of women in business, and like I just felt so happy being there. Like look at all of us women, like being together, being happy, like planning, like having goals, like wanting to go places. So, anyways, this video is really just to say that Think Pink was started because I'm a woman and I wanted to find my place, and couldn't find my place. I've worked for men all my life, and I've been in relationships, and like I can't say all men, but there's a lot of men that it's there's a dynamic with a man and a woman, right? Like and it's undeniable, and especially when there's a chemistry or an energy. Um, but it's like as a woman, know your place, right? It's like I'm the man, know your place. And I know so many men that have wives and have girlfriends as well, and like I don't know, it just hurts. Like I guess it hurts because as a woman, like why do we have to be made to feel less than. Like as a man, like that's my husband. I have one husband. If I caught cheating or if I'm caught with a somebody else, like that is woohoo, you are frowned upon. But it's like I know so many men that have wives and girlfriends, like, and it's not my place to dish that out. That's not my life. Like that's not I don't want to cause chaos. And then I've read, oh, what book was it? Now I'm blanking on the book, but I did read a book about how, and this was like way back in the day, and I read this book so long ago that I can't remember all the details. So, but it basically like they were trying to develop civilization, and they were like, how do we create families? How do we raise children? And it was like you had a husband and a wife and they had children, but that husband and that wife actually were not exclusionary. Like other husbands and other wives from the town or whatever, like they were all loving each other. Like I'm just gonna say it like that. Like they were all loving each other, but there was just two parents in the home raising the children for the sake of the children. Like how confusing is that for a child to be like, all right, like that woman gave birth to me from that guy, but they're not exclusionary. They like I can only imagine like how a child would feel like in the confusion. So it's like you have to put on this um front for the children that hey, I am your mother, I am your father, this is our household, and that's it. And then but then as the child ages and learns and gets out of the house, like oh, that's not really true. Nobody's actually exclusionary. Like, and so it's like that. It was a very open relationships concept, and I guess like marriage was developed, and I tell myself that too. Marriage was not the dawn of time, right? Like that was probably evolution that created marriage. And then, I am an ordained minister and I've done close to 50 weddings. And it's like I do find that it's sort of weird. And I've never been married myself. I've never entered into a contract saying these are my vows that I will live by for the rest of my life, and I'm dedicating myself to you. I've never done that myself. And so it's like sometimes I do think about it being sort of strange, and because I'm a businesswoman and I'm all about contracts. I love contracts, black and white. You breach your side, or if I breach my side, there are consequences, right? And so that's what marriage is essentially, right? Like it's a contract you're entering and you're honoring what you say you're going to do. Um, Anyways, I don't know if this is making any sense. I just felt it on my heart. I was meditating this morning, did my yoga, and I don't know. As much as I love business and as much as I have a lot of male counterparts in my life and I'm helping them with their businesses, I'm like, you know what? I want to be with the girls. I want to be with the girls. I want to help the girls build. I want to be a resource for them. I want them to come talk if they want to come talk about their heartache, because my heart aches. My heart aches a lot from not feeling woman enough, not being enough for any one man. So then it's like I have to put myself in the thinking of, well, you know what? If that breaks my heart so much, then I need to stop making that my focus and stop making that my goal. Um, and so, anyways, I just wanted to voice that because I always say if I feel a way or if I think a way, I'm not the only one. There's billions, maybe more than billions of people in the world. Um, and so I know I'm not the only girl that thinks that way. And so if you're a girl that thinks that way and you want a sisterhood and you want a group of girls to stick with and talk with and have confidence in and build trust and friendships, come think pink with us because we are we've got some awesome women and um we all have different goals. Our goals are not the same, and family is important. I have children. I want them to sometimes there's so many ways of thinking. I understand when you're raising children, you sort of have to give them one way, one guideline, or else you probably make them go crazy. I'm going crazy, not understanding what I'm supposed to do, what's my role supposed to be. Like, how can I actually feel love and fulfillment? And then I think that's the whole point of yoga is to realize, hey, it's all inside and it's all just you. At the end of the day, you're coming to the world alone. Well, unless you're a twin or a triplet, I guess. But for the most part, we're born here, we're singular, we die alone. This is our journey, and along the journey, if you find a partner that you can come to unison with and work as one, that is a beautiful thing. I love it. There's a reason why I like to wedding people because, like, I do a whole counseling service before the wedding because I want to get the feeling and the energy from the couple. If this is something that they truly want to do, and if they it's really authentic, right? So I believe in it so much. I believe in the unison of man and woman, but that's not everybody's story. I mean, my story briefly, I my senior year, I got with somebody. We were together 15 years. We had 2 kids, never got married, and then it ended. And I've been out here in the world trying to figure myself out. I've just drove myself into business to build a business because I wanted my children to have something that they could take over or sell if they want to sell it and do something different, whatever. At least I did something. I gave them something, a resource or learning, at least experience. Um, Anyways, I'm gonna cut it here because I could talk forever. But my sisters, you're valued, you're beautiful, you are everything by yourself. You're whole, you're special, you're so special. And if you find a man that puts you on a pedestal and that will help lift you up, and you're doing the same for him, that is a beautiful thing. And I congratulate you. And if that's your goal to find that, keep working on yourself. I always say when I'm the best version of myself, maybe that's when I'll find the best man to match me. And then we can go hand in hand in this world and face it on together. But again, I don't know God's plan, and maybe that's not God's plan for me. Maybe God's plan, I think I love Mother Teresa. I've studied her, I've read about her, and you know, sometimes you do read about stories about people though in history, and maybe they did seem singular, but you never know. Maybe there was a lover on the side, or I'm not saying there was, but there might have been a counterpart in the story somewhere that just wasn't told. So I don't know. It's like you got to be very careful. You don't want to idolize anybody else, but just realize that it's all inside of you. Even if you are supposed to be singular for the rest of your life, you are enough. You can give yourself all the love that you need, um, and trust in the divine higher power, God, that He loves you and He has you here for reasons and purposes, probably beyond our comprehension. Um, and that's it. And I love you guys, and think pink, and reach out to me if you want to get plugged into our network of amazing people. And even if you're a man and you watch this, I have a place for you in our organization as well. And I run several businesses. Think Pink's not the only one. So um, I just want to give that to you guys. I love you, and you are enough, and you are beautiful. And God bless you, and have a great day.